beginning.
What are you doing?
You've already started the video, haven't you? It's fucked up. Alright, I'll put the phone down. What's up?
All right, Ray. The other night you complained that I don't give you enough credit when you're doing well in the league. I'm always beating on you. I'm always negative about your performance and how you've been lucky this year and how you've never won anything real or legitimate in your whole life.
Is there a question in there?
So we are going to have an interview right now, and our interview is going to be based around the fact that you are now 6-1, which puts you in sole possession of first place for the first time in about a year. How does it feel?
He was in first last year.
Maybe, I don't know.
He was.
I don't think so.
It feels pretty good, but at the same time, last year the guy to your right was 5-2 in sole possession of first place after 7 weeks. He didn't even make the playoffs, so I've got a lot of work ahead of me still. So.
Who did you beat this week?
Michael.
I don't remember. Michael didn't even have his full team out, so he kind of lucked out there a little bit.
Yeah, as usual, just luck.
A lot of people have talked about the fact that you've given up the least amount of points in the whole league, or I guess you faced the least amount of points in the whole league. Do you have any comments for that?
Sure, the people that are complaining are the teams that also didn't show up when they played me, so that's not really my fault. And outside of 1 week where I scored 130, I average over 185 a week, so, I feel like I'm putting up enough points.
You're the front runner of the league now. That comes with some responsibility. When Jen was in first, she was talking it up a lot. She has since fallen off. She will be interviewed later today. We're going to talk about that.
I don't think I've ever seen a Jen interview.
Yeah, you
I
have
don't
not.
think we have seen
This
Jen
will be a
interview.
first interview ever for Jen,
Alright.
which should happen tonight. Will we be seeing more out of you now?
I mean, you've seen something from me basically
No,
every week.
no. I'm saying you now have the ability, or you are now allowed to say basically whatever the hell you want.
It really doesn't matter what I say, though, because anytime I bring up how well I'm doing, I have to hear about what I haven't done in the past. And, the championships from 2005 that I have to hear about. And, the fact that there's a current champion who I think is still under 500. I have to hear about the other person that won 2 years ago that should have won last year, but, that didn't actually happen. So, revisionist history there. So basically, anytime I talk about what I do that's good, everybody brings up the fact that I have not done good in the past.
All right, so by saying you're not going to say anything, you just said a whole lot.
Yep.
I hope a lot of people are listening to this video and listen to what Ray just said and comment on what Ray just said, because I like it.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't going to say a lot. What
Don't
I said is every
backtrack.
time
Now here he goes,
No, there's no
backtracking like a
backtrack.
baby.
You're just
Backtracking like a baby.
No, you're just taking my words out of context. I'm going to still talk.
Out of context, you literally just said it to the video.
No, I didn't. I said I'm going to still talk, but people are going to bring up these other things that have happened. That's all. You've gotten a video from me almost every week.
At this point,
from me every week.
we're good with this question.
All right.
At this point, you're 6-1. The playoffs are basically a certainty. I know you said last year Matt blew probably an even bigger lead in the playoff picture, and he was
I
just
don't think it was
awful.
bigger.
He was awful. I understand it could happen, but you being a much better owner than Matt, having a much better team than Matt, being around a lot longer than Matt, you got a lot more experience in the league than Matt, you're a better human being than Matt, you're smarter than Matt.
I was waiting for that one. 'Cause I was about to say that.
A lot of good things, a lot of things that you're better than Matt. You have to feel pretty good that you're in the playoffs now, and your focus is going to be on a bye week, right?
I mean, I haven't missed the playoffs in I think 8 years, so
you haven't.
making the playoffs is not difficult for this team.
I agree with that.
It's what I do when I get to the playoffs. So the focus right now is I would like to get the bye because obviously that makes the track a lot easier. You gotta wait for Calvin Johnson to get healthy, which now having 6 wins and only 1 loss allows a little buffer room for that. So hopefully he sits out again this week.
I agree.
Has the bye next week. Matt's losing his mind over I don't know what. I guess Matt just realized he's over 500 for the first time all year.
No.
So
Matt's getting an interview next, so we'll talk about that next.
All right.
Matt just distracted. Does it mean anything to you? Is there any significance in the fact that you are ahead by 2 games in the toughest division in the entire league by far. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice because I face real competition, unlike, the middle division. Weeks 1 through 3, I faced 3 tough opponents. I lived up to the task each week. I was told I was afraid to play certain teams, and then I showed up and they stayed home. And I'm going to have to do it again weeks 11 through 13 to close out the division.
Speaking of being afraid to play certain teams, we're going to talk about Eddie now.
Ask a question.
We're going to talk about Eddie now. You can answer the question next. Eddie is basically declaring that he is quitting the season. He's up 2 games in the division right now, but he's saying that he has no chance anymore this year. What do you think about that?
I think we should reference my video from the week that I played him, where I proclaimed that I would beat him because there was no way that he should have won, and he put up a score that there's no way that he should have won, but yet he won because I guess I decided to make it a bye week.
Yep.
But whatever, it happens. But I think I did say something along the lines of he had 5 or 6 tough games coming up, and it was going to go along the lines of L, 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 L. There was maybe a win or 2 in there. I think that's actually the
one
quote.
win. Yeah.
And I apparently was the win. So
All right, so you were right.
So I'm expecting continuation of losses.
Are you saying that he's right in waving the white flag this early in the season with a 2-game lead in the division?
No, I mean, when you're up 2 games in the worst division in the league and nobody else in your division can win, I don't think you should really give up.
Right.
At the same time, he's seen Michael improve his team.
Right.
He's seen Pete improve his team. He's seen Brian actually show up, remembering that the preseason's over. Maybe the preseason ends later in California.
It's possible. We'll
like West Coast, the hour thing throws
He'll be
him off.
interviewed later today. We'll
Oh, good. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's just scared, really.
All right, Matt, your question?
You actually asked it. That was going to be my question.
That was your question? Was the verbatim question that Chris
Yeah.
just asked, word for word?
That was your question.
I was going to ask what he thinks. He has a 2-game lead.
Right.
Eddie has a 2-game lead, but Eddie's getting ready to sell. And I was asking his opinion because he has a 2-game lead.
So
also.
I think I know what Matt's trying to get at here. Apparently, when you have a 2-game lead in the division, that's the time to sell and stop focusing on the playoffs and focus for next year. So is
am
that
I
your
selling?
outlook?
Is that the question?
Yeah,
No, I'm not
yeah.
selling, you retard. I'm going to win the division.
Well,
I'm going to get the bye, and then I'm going to try to win this damn
I'm
league.
2 games behind the division. I'm not selling.
All right, who do you play this week?
I play Jen in a pretty big matchup.
It's a big matchup. Ricky's doing the rundown this week, so I'm not sure who he's going to name matchup of the week. I would probably name this the matchup of the week, but I'm sure it's going to be his.
It's Ricky's matchup. I'm sure Ricky is the favorite. I'm sure Ricky's number 1 in the power rankings. I'm sure Ricky also won the Ray Schick Award this week. But besides that, this is probably the biggest matchup of the year, 1 versus 2.
You're both somewhat at full strength. You both have some nagging injuries on both sides.
She's got a bye.
Got a bye here or there on the defensive
I've got
side.
an injury, 1 bye.
So with that said, is this kind of a good indicator of where both of you guys are going to be at this point in the year, since you're both almost full strength?
Yeah, I think she's got some issues. I'm not gonna say specifically where I think she has issues because I'm not gonna help her out. But I've got some issues at running back that I need to work out. She's got some issues she's got to work out. But besides that, yeah, I mean it's basically all systems go. So
it's an early season matchup for first in the league. What's your prediction?
I think I'm gonna win. Take that 2-game lead over Jen and 2 games over everybody else in the league. Put myself in position for that bye and take it from there. So.
All right. Good luck the rest of the way. Thank you.
Thanks.